Hello everybody, this is a quick tutorial video that's going to outline a modification to the LG G4. My wife and I both got these phones earlier this fall. We really like them a lot. One thing though that's kind of a bummer is that with a lot of micro, what do we call this? The micro USB connections, they start to wear out, and to preemptively get on top of that and start charging our phones without wearing out that port, we found a very inexpensive way to modify this phone through placing the NFC chip to do wireless charging. In total, with the charger and the replacement NFC chip, you're looking at about $20 through Amazon. I've looked around quite a bit on eBay and through Amazon and some other places, and that seems about the average cost for both parts. But the NFC chip alone, if you already have a wireless charging pad, I think it's the QI, whatever that, however you want to pronounce that, wireless charging pad is the one that's compatible with the linked NFC replacement chip that you'll see in the link description. So, anyways, this is what it looks like and what you get in the bag here as far as the replacement chip. Excuse my cold sounding voice here. I came down with a nasty head cold this last week. And what it's going to come with is a replacement chip that will then allow also for wireless charging, as well as the original NFC functionality. So you're not giving anything up, you're getting actually a little bit more out of it. And this is what it looks like right here. It's very thin. You're going to replace the one that's in there, so you're not going to be adding any thickness at all to your device. Okay. And then it's got a couple different colored covers, or excuse me, just kind of adhesive covers that you can put on top. We'll use white for this one because that's my wife's phone is white. I've already done my phone successfully, so I know this works. So there won't be any surprises here, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, there won't be surprises. So what we're going to do is peel this bad boy out. Let's go ahead and just shut it down for safety. We'll go ahead and power off. Love this phone. It's great size, looks great, camera's amazing. 12 megapixels. Just a lot of solid, good functionality. Really, the only drawback is going through Verizon. Just, you know, their update schedule is pretty lame. Okay, so she's off all the way. What you're going to do is just gently kind of work your way around the edge here, peel off your back, and that's another huge reason why we went with these phones. Removable battery, removable or expandable SD or micro SD memory. She's packing 64 gigs here. I've got a 64 in mine. I mean, that's all the movies and music you're probably going to want on a mobile device. I don't know, that's just us. Really, I mean, slim profile and design. I mean, just a great all-around phone. Okay, so let's look at the back case, which are also interchangeable. You can get the leather ones or some other different colors and designs, and they're kind of neat. So what we're going to do here is just look at the back. You see that outlined kind of different colored white. I think on mine it was black because I have a black case. This is your NFC chip underneath that same adhesive or an adhesive layer on top. The real key to what it is that we're doing here is that you want to make sure that you line up the contacts exactly where it is that they need to be. Now, what comes with this New Wisdom brand NFC replacement or wireless charging replacement, it's going to have some dimensions and measurements of where you can, you know, fit these things exactly. I do have a caliper, you know, if you want to be super precise about it, that's fine, but what we're going to do is actually just etch a small little scratch in the surface of the case, not the phone, just so that we make sure we have those measurements precise, or, you know, exactly where they need to be. Worst case, you just have to peel up a little bit of it, nudge it, and make sure that it works. So you know, there may be a little bit of trial and error. I was fortunate enough to be able to do it on my first try. Some people say, "Oh, you really got lucky," but I think if you just are careful and take your time, you'll be okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use my knife very gently. I'm going to make just a slight little etching kind of mark right here in the corners of this contact right there, and then we'll go ahead and start working on tearing out the rest of the adhesive cover as well as the original NFC chip. So let's go ahead and do that. we're just tracing the edges of the corners, just gently, just kind of making just a little scratch so you can see it when you peel it and want to replace it. Okay, so that should do it. And there's already a little bit of an indentation right there as well where this main contact goes. And you're adding a new one, I believe, up in this area where there isn't one already. So now what we're going to do is take the adhesive off, and I do that by just gently, and you can use a pocket knife, some other, blade or something else, really just kind of peeling it just as easy does it there. I mean, it really is not too hard. Wow, this one's coming off really nice. You may have some little bits in areas that are kind of stragglers. Looks like it kind of has a thermal or some kind of a conductive layer. Yeah, so this is just the cover, or excuse me, the outer adhesive to the actual NFC chip. Yeah, there you go. So, again, let's compare. This is the original chip, obviously, inside your phone. This is the new one. Okay, and it's got this additional little contact over here for, I think that's the charging mechanism. I don't really use the NFC function to its true potential, where you bump phones to other people and it transfers data or something. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of different wireless connections now, and maybe I'm just not social enough with my phone or whatever, but that's what it looks like. So now we're going to go ahead and start peeling off the original NFC chip. Let's see if we can zoom in here just a little bit and see it a little bit better. So I'll try and keep it right about there. So again, just easy does it. Just kind of pick up those corners slightly. It'll come. And I'm not terribly concerned if I get a couple scratch marks on the inside of the case. It's not going to affect any functionality here. Let's see. So we got a little bit of a corner kind of coming up right there. This one's pretty firm. There we go. So unfortunately it looks, I mean, it does destroy it, but again, that's not a crucial part of your phone's ability to work. Okay, here we go. So here we go. So this is what it's kind of looking like. That's pretty much all of it, and I'll just get these last little bits here in a sec. Alrighty. Last little bit's pretty good on there, isn't it? And then what I would recommend before proceeding after this is just maybe taking a little towel or I don't know, whatever you want, a wet nap or something, or some kind of, just kind of wiping it down, making sure that surface is nice and smooth. Again, the goal is to just have a nice clean area to work on and not take up any more room than what your original part was. Okay, so we finally were able to get the rest of the adhesive off, kind of rubbing it with my fingers to just make sure that kind of residue and other stuff is gone. Again, that's the inside of your case, so it's really not the end of the world, but this one really put up a fight. Took my time with just kind of a pocket knife or a straight edge there, and it came off. The other LG G4, mine, that I modified, it came off pretty easily. I don't know. I think some of the other videos people showing doing this, it took them a little bit of time as well. So don't freak out, but just go take it slow so you don't really damage the case, and just make sure it's kind of good. Okay, so really, again, the area that we marked or we kind of scratched with a knife a little bit is up here in this side. Again, I went around the edges, just kind of made a small incision with that pocket knife so that I could see, where are those contacts going to go, make sure they line up. Everything else really just hinges off of that. So that's the spot, and I'm just trying to make sure I can see them well enough that I can lay down the little pad. And in worst case, we'll just do a trial and error, just see if it works, and then if it doesn't, we'll just nudge those contacts just a little bit. Okay, so here it is, the new NFC chip that we're going to be putting in. We'll put it in just like this. Just lay it down, stick it in. We will attach it to the phone, power up the phone, and then see if it actually charges. If it does, then we'll just go ahead and put the adhesive cover on top. So again, the brand of what we're using is the New Wisdom wireless charging NFC antenna, or NFC antenna. And then we'll do a test over here with the actual charging pad, the key UTech brand wireless charging pad. This is the can't remember the model. I think it's the QI or something like that. It says Mode T100. I don't know if they meant model. I bought, so my wife has one, I have one, and I actually just got one on eBay for less than what they're selling them on Amazon. Just have it in my office at work, so it should be pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this adhesive on here. So I'll go ahead and zoom in, and you guys can kind of follow along. Okay, so let's go ahead and peel away here. I think it does have two sections of adhesive up here. So there's one on this connection way up here, and I think there might be, I don't think there's another one on this guy. Can't remember. I don't know. Let's get the main adhesive off and get her laid down here and see what happens. And I wouldn't say it's like super sticky, so if you had to move it, you might not be in total trouble, but I mean, worst case, the risk ratio, of cost is pretty low. You're looking at a $10 part, so it's not, the end of the world if it doesn't work out just right. Okay. I don't think there's an adhesive right there, but this is one that needs to go in the right spot. Okay, so we have all the adhesive off. Let's go ahead and line it up exactly where we had the original little segment right there. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it down. Gentle, gentle. Let's just make sure this is the spot that really needs to be put in just right. So I'm trying to make sure I'm... Sorry, so you can see as well. About there. Might need to rotate it just a smidge. Just like that. Okay. Looks okay to me. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the phone. We'll power it up. Let's see, we go like this. And attach that back. Sometimes it feels a little snug, if you don't tamp it down real hard. I didn't tamp it down really hard, just in case we do have to move it. So let's power this guy back up. We'll get it to boot all the way. Red light, nothing's on it charging. Did a little bit of testing with the range on these. It seems to be about the thickness of your finger, so maybe about like a centimeter or so. Distance that you would need to be from the actual device. So I've seen mods where people will kind of hollow out or auger out a space under a desk or something and have this mounted under there. And if you have about that much wood, a thin kind of veneer of it, this will still charge your device. So they kind of did some cool stuff where they kind of sandblasted like a logo or a symbol or something, and that's that's where they set their phone. Is she already on? Okay, so let's go ahead and try it. That's a good sign. So, yeah, new voicemail. So green light on the actual charging device, and as you can see on the screen, I'll zoom in and show you here. Ooh, focus. Nope. Come back out. Oh, what am I doing? I don't even have this near it. If I can hold this up. There we go. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it was charging. Yeah. Yep, we're charging. So we're good. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and shut it down again, take the back off. We'll tamp it down, and we will attach the adhesive just cover. I don't know if that really protects it or anything, but whatever. And we will test it one more time just to be sure. Power off, please. So I'm 2-0 right now. I'm putting those things in, so that's pretty good. Yeah, it's not really that hard. Just take your time. Make sure that you look at that spot that you marked. You know, you just kind of etch out a little, you know, trace where that little first connection is on the left-hand side. That's really your guide and what you need to make sure that you do. Okay. All right, so here's the NFC pen. Let's just mash that in there real good. Make sure she's sticking. Okay, and we will go ahead and attach just this really thin little cover. I think it likes to have a little gap right there for that part. Ooh, no. Okay. Shoot. That thing really clung quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to salvage that. It might come off, it might tear. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to tear. Oh well. It's covering the entire chip, and that's kind of the point. I just wanted to maybe take it off those contacts a little bit. Worst case, I can cut that part off. Or remove that little segment. Okay. Let's put it back on again. Again, this doesn't add any thickness to your device. Oh, what's going on down there? Power on. Okay. Oops. Oh, maybe those connections aren't being met with that covering that little spot. So interesting. Yeah, I guess those little connections that got just slightly covered by that cover. Oh, there it goes. See if we can, let's just do this without shutting it off. This isn't gonna, we're not gonna take the battery out or anything like that. So what we're gonna do is, this is the area that was kind of a problem. Just right over here, we're gonna remove this part of the cover. This is not crucial in any way. Really the only thing that's gonna cover is just kind of this area. If it doesn't tear, that'd be great, but I mean, it's got all these perforations and things in it. It's designed to like rip apart, which kind of stinks. I don't know why it's like that, but I'm just going to cut that little piece right there. Okay. Modify it the least amount possible. Okay, let's put this back on. Okay, phone's still on. Boom. Okay, so that was the issue. Little contacts got covered up by that last adhesive layer that really doesn't have any functionality that I can really tell. So we are in good shape. We are charging wirelessly. Another thing, just a personal review on this product and the UTech, or what is this? The the UTech wireless charger. People say, oh, well, you know, wireless charging is cool, but it takes a long time. I have not noticed that with this device. It actually charges almost on par with the USB just plugged in. And I don't know if that's because we are using the wall plug from the original, or from this device, so it is a 2 amp 5 volt. Well, sorry, the G4 wall plug I think is a 1.7 amp 5 volt it performs fine. It charges as fast, maybe a smidge slower than the USB directly plugged in. So don't let that deter you. Again, I just haven't seen that as the case or the rule of wireless charging as far as my experience goes. So anyways, highly recommend it if you're looking for a way to preserve the USB connection of your phone. This is a pretty simple, maybe a 3 out of 10 on difficulty level mod of a device, just scraping out that NFC chip, replacing it with this new one. The other thing you want to do too is actually just test to make sure that NFC will work in your settings. So you go in and you say sharing and connect, turn on NFC, make sure that it does function, and it does. So Smart Share Beam on, Android Beam on. I mean, there's all these different antennas or ways that you can transfer information. I just never use them. But anyways, you'd want to make sure that that just works, just to make sure you have a fully functional device. So again, I highly recommend this mod. For the price and yield of benefit, I think it's good. It'll preserve your USB connection. Just adds a little bit more life. They look cool. You just set it down next to your bed at night and you're done. So thanks for watching. Bye.